ago where we had that some schools was actually affected. Some pupils also were affected. Well, some people said it was a bomb explosion, but the police came out to say it was actually a gas explosion. Whichever way, I think our children should be protected, and such things should actually be avoided. Well, that's where we're going to stop for matters arising on these educational matters. I'll be proceeding on a short break. When I'll be back, I'm going to bring in my guest. We want to discuss some things very, very important. And like I said, I know you cannot afford to miss this discussion today. So don't go away. I'll be right back. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under pre-resumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning of the environment. This is very, very important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare. We need to be on the same page and make sure that we are ready to go back to school. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under pre-resumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning of the environment. This is very, very important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare. We need to be on the same page and make sure that we are ready to go
Welcome back to this segment of Edugist. Like I told you that we are having a guest this time around, and she is Mrs. Arinola Oduni. Mrs. Arinola, you are welcome to Edugist on CCTV.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I know that you are very passionate when it comes to the education of children, and I know that you've worked with one or two people also to encourage young people to develop in life, to come out well. But before we go out on that, I just want to put you on the spot. You heard about the gruesome murder of a young lady some time ago in Sokoto. I want to ask you, what do you think that schools should be doing? Because this happened in the school, and sometimes what just came to my mind is that, yes, probably she has not spoken well. She said one or two things that is wrong, but probably she too just felt, I'm among my classmates, and then she just said something. What do you think should be done in schools to encourage religious tolerance?
Okay, firstly, thank you for the question. I think schools need to start taking, if it's courses, but they need to start talking about it, religious tolerance, because we all have gone to school, and there are times you go off on your classmates. It always happens. One or two things, you say things that are not even meant to be said, but it shouldn't have ended in murder. So I believe that school, first of all, there should be security in schools, that this cannot even happen. It should not be possible that they can burn someone alive in a school premises. So that is the first thing. Then the second thing is the school authorities they need to start talking about it. Create posters, create flyers, create seminars, or make sure they begin to talk about it.
Thank you very much. I think that's very, very important, because you need to change that mindset, the orientation, so that people will be able to accommodate differences. And if we have one or two people that have erred, we've done something wrong, there should be a proper way to report, a proper reportage system that could take care of it and then know what to do. Okay, thank you very much. Now, going to the matter for the day, we are looking at how we can correct this failing attitude of the first parent in child's development. You know, when we say first parent now, first teacher, sorry. First teacher will refer to the parents, because we believe that, yes, it's an educational program, but the first teacher should be the parent. And not only first teacher, even after the children leave school, they come back home. So they still come to the parents as well. So the parent has a significant role also in impacting. Like when we started, I said the food for thought is that change is the result that you expect from every true learning. So from what we see now, will you say that the attitude of the first teacher is actually dropping, or do you think that it's just there?
I think it is actually dropping.
Okay.
And I believe that, first of all, I think parents are not even equipped enough for this generation coming up. So we're using the same system that we're trained with to train these children, and somehow it's backfiring on the parents. So yes, they are not equipped, and they're not just ready for what is happening right now.
Okay. So what can we point to can be responsible for this? What is changing, or what has changed that is making us to see as if most parents are losing grip of their children? It seems that training is not there from home. So even when they get to school, you can still see that because when you are, I believe that if you are not, there are some moral training that you're supposed to take from home. So if you didn't get them, when you meet your colleague in school, peer pressure, they will impress something on you. So what do you think are the causes responsible for this?
I think one of the things I believe is modernization.
Okay.
So there's this place where, of course, when we're growing up, there will always be not just your parents. If you do something, your neighbor, somebody can correct you. But now you hear mothers and fathers say, oh, you must not touch my child, you must not do this. Mainly, it's just me. So whatever I want to impact my child, that's what it will be. You go to churches and you hear parents warn teachers in churches and say, don't touch my child, don't correct my child. So whatever they say should be law, whether it's at home or wherever it is. And at that point, you are it's like you're just limiting the scope, because the children when a child knows that my parents will not really discipline me, they'll go out and do nonsense, and they know that you can't beat me or you can't come and report me to my parents because my parents will still support me. So I think one of the things is modernization and changing the ever-changing world, having different things happening here and there and influencing our lives, and we're not able to take a stand.
Okay. Like a city like Lagos too, do you think that the economic situation has also contributed? Like, you know, when you have parents, father and mother, you know, going out to make money, do you think that has also contributed to this?
Yes, sir. I believe that, because the basis of a society is actually the family. And the beauty of it is every society will be built on a family. So when the family doesn't have time to take care of itself, it's already broken in one way or the other. So yes, in Lagos, where by 4 a.m. everybody's out of the house, there was a thread on Twitter concerning this, and people were saying at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, they were waking their children up to drop them at the crèche. And someone said her child did not even know her. And she drops her child, and by maybe 7 she picks up the child, and by that time the child doesn't even know them. So this is one of the trends that we are seeing these days. The economic factor also
is playing a role. Okay, what do you think are the impacts that this particular failing responsibility of the first teacher has actually caused in the society?
First of all, I'll say that it has caused a menace. It has caused trauma-filled grown men and women to walk around and hurting other people, because there's no wholesome growth in their lives. So there's been maybe the emotional part of them has been left unattended to. So over time they've not been able to even develop. So imagine having those kind of people in your organization and they're not fulfilling the things, and you're wondering, but these people went to school. But it's not just about school. There's the emotional part, and there's so many other parts in our lives that it's not only until it's written in school on the blackboard that they have to learn. So when the when the family is already broken, or the parents have failed in the development of a child, it will impact on the society. Now we see street urchins. They just concluded chess slum program in Oshodi under the bridge. They brought out a whole thread on it, And we're talking that some of these children ran from their houses and they were sleeping under the bridge before this organization began to teach them how to play chess, and they began to bring, I think, yes, Eva Patrice, the footballer, came also. But when we were talking about these children, many of them did not even have homes to go back to. So they had to even create, some of them had to adopt the children. Then they took some had to go back to their houses, reunite with their parents, and put them under mentors. So in this case, you see that a lot of street urchins, that's what has been the issue over time.
Now, do you think that the advent of social media has also contributed to this? Because just about 20 years ago, there was nothing like that. But, you know, about 15 years thereabout, we have this advent in infiltration of the social media to the society. Has social media contributed to this falling attitude of parents? Has it affected the parents themselves? Has it affected the children also?
Yes, sir. It has affected. You see, the thing is with social media is it's two sides of the same coin. So there's a good part and the bad part. So you have to know, as a parent, you need to, first of all, it has affected wrongly because many times every other day it's go and watch television, or you just put a phone in. You see a 10-year-old with 4-year-olds having phones, not unguided, and they are doing anything that they want. So yes, it has contributed. Even as a parent, you have to consciously tell yourself there has to be family time. Drop your phones and create that time for your family.
Thank you very much. In fact, there was I was watching one. It was a picture, and somebody depicted something that's very instructive. It showed two families probably in the 80s, then modern day families. Family in the 80s, they were reading books, they were interacting. But the families, modern day families, everybody was holding their phones and everybody was pressing, everybody concentrated, the father, the mother, the children, everybody kept quiet. There is no interaction. So you also feel that some of these things also affect the children, and also even some people might, even along that line, be carried away with social. I mean, the parents now, not even taking notes and finding, you don't have time, like you said, you left 4 a.m., you came back again around 8, 9. The little time you're supposed to have with the children, you are pressing the phone again, and the next thing from there, you go and sleep. Yeah, so those are some of the things according to our guest has actually said today. And you agree with me that we need to address some of these issues, which has led to a lot of menace, according to her, in the society. We have issues of occultism, we have issues of ritual killings, we have issues of rape, just to mention a few, because the first teacher has actually misplaced their priority. We are going to look at some of the way out for us by our guest. But before we do that, I want to proceed on a short break. When I come back, she's going to tell us one of the things that we can do in order to mitigate some of these things. Don't go away. I'll be right back. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us. So the first thing you need to consider under pre-resumption phase preparation by schools is that, number one, there must be thorough cleaning. Welcome back to the last segment of Edugist for today. Now I want to look at the way out, the solutions. Do you think there's a way out?
Yes,
Okay, fine. Thank God that there's a way out. So what do you think that we should be doing, we should be telling the parents for us to begin to correct some of these anomalies, for them to be able to take up their responsibility as the first teacher? Sorry to say, because it seems sometimes the parents just abandon everything for the teachers to do. So they're just looking for a way to send them to school, so that they will have peace of mind, so that they don't anything, oh, let's just put them in school and then they find their way. So what do you think we should start doing now, or should start telling our parents to start doing, being the first teacher?
Okay, firstly, I would say they need to understand why they have children. For people who, young people who are maybe going to get married, they need to understand that if there are courses now for parenting, you need to take courses. Don't just say, oh, the next thing is marriage, then having children. So the first thing I would say is take courses. Even as parents, take courses, because the world is ever changing. These children are interacting with different people. Another thing is family time. Create family time. And the fathers need to be involved. In the 80s, yes, the fathers were working, the mothers were at home. But now we need both parents to create a loving environment for the children. The father's impact. There was a study done, and they did children without any parents, then children with parents. They were all children were born, then they removed the mothers. All the children died. It was such a terrible experiment, but all the children without parents died. And it shows that we need human connection. So parents need to drop their phones and actually create time. Not just ask your children, what did you do today? But create very valuable time. Create, I believe in family tradition. Have family tradition. Go out, enjoy yourself as a family, and consistently pray for your children. Ask questions. Always go to their schools. Don't just leave them to the teachers. Give them time. Give them make sure all the children, they have every of your child has there's a time for them for playing, and there's a time, so there has to be a restriction on even their mobile phones, on their tablets, whatever they are doing. So for me, it is still the family. Focus on the family, grow the family, make sure that the family is a loving place for the child.
Thank you. Do you think the government has any role to play as well?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what do you think the government should also be looking at to also enhance the parent also taking their rightful position?
For the teacher, for the government, I believe that they need to start making sure that there's work-life balance. There's so many organizations and there's no work-life balance. Now, on the side of the children, in schools right now, the learning facilities are archaic. They're so behind. And you see people who read computer science and they never had they never knew how a computer will operate until they graduated. So even the courses that are being taken in school has to be upgraded. And so many other, for me, those are the things I believe. And for the parks, we have, for example, in Lagos, we have maybe one park to 3 or 4 local government areas. So there has to be parks where people can come together, create family fun days for people to come together as a family and also bond.
Okay, that's very good. And also, I'm also thinking that our religious bodies like the church also, I think they should have one or two roles to also play in this. Do they?
Yes, sir. I believe as the church, they need to start listening to the children, asking them and answering their inquisitive questions. Because I have seen that if the church doesn't answer the questions, they go online to look for answers, and what they find there is not the truth, but they give them with facts, and that's what they take. So first of all, I believe even as the church, we need to encourage family time again. We need to encourage, listen to them, because now if you look at the young children of now, they are deviating from the traditional 9 to 5, and everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but it's not a long-lasting. It's not long-lasting if everybody moves from this side to that side. So I believe that even the church has a role to play. They need to sit down, speak with these children, and make sure that they're fulfilling purpose and not just doing anything they feel like, because that's what is trending in this nation.
Thank you very much. It has been a wonderful time with our guests, Mrs. Arinola Oduni on Edugist today. I'm very sure you've gained one or two things on how we can correct the failing attitude of our first teacher, which are the parents, on our child development, on their training, especially when we see around today and a lot of things are happening and we are complaining. We can see that we all have a role to play here. The government have theirs, the church, the society, and even the parents, and even the children themselves. And that is why Edugist is very, very important for us to listen to. Being your regular host, Dr. J.B. Minari, this is where we are going to draw the curtain for today. And I hope you are going to join us next time as we are going to bring a fresh edition that will also be very, very inspiring, exciting, and motivating. Thank you very much and have a blessed time. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare and we need to be on the same page to make sure that we are ready to go back to school. this particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us.